It's Victim Mentality Awareness Week. So what exactly is victim mentality? What does it affect? How do you know if you have it? Victim mentality is usually the normal response to trauma that has been experienced or witnessed. It can manifest as shock and disbelief, causing an inability to accept the reality of what has happened. It can cause fear that it will happen again, or you'll lose control or break down. It may cause sadness, particularly if people you know have passed away. A feeling of helplessness over the unpredictable nature of disaster, which leaves you feeling vulnerable. You may experience guilt that you survived or that you could have done more to help. It can cause anger at God or others you feel are responsible. You may feel shame, especially over feelings or fears you cannot control. You could even feel relief that the worst is over and hopeful for a return to your normal life. Victim mentality is a feeling that is strong enough to hold you back from moving forward with the life that you want, to trap you in the negative place where you become lulled into acceptance of your current situation, without the desire or understanding that it is in your power and control to change your circumstances. It is the self-sabotaging, lethargic, poverty mindset that allows a negative attitude to control your life. How do I know this? How can I use such strong words to describe such a delicate state? Because I was there. Because I remember those feelings so clearly. I remember the darkness and the desolation, the loneliness, and the crushing, paralyzing anxiety that weighed me down and held me captive, chaining my mind, body, and soul to the hell that I called my life. You see, I was a victim. I was a victim of thoughtless obedience that deadened my ability to think for myself. I was a victim of a 20-year abusive marriage. The physical, emotional, and financial ramifications left me a broken shell of a woman, living my life like a robot because it hurt too much to feel. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, knowing that destruction was so close and never knowing when it was actually going to happen. When Family and Children's Services was called by my children's school, it was my wake-up call. I learned that I was most certainly a victim of a serious and horrendous acts. I learned all the ways that I was abused and that it was real. And I learned that what I was going through and was feeling was normal. Most importantly, I learned that there was a way out. There was hope. I learned that I could have a future that didn't hurt like my past. I learned that I could gain control over my life, and I learned that I could be who I wanted to be. I learned that in order to do that, I had to lose my victim mentality. I turned the shock and disbelief into acceptance by acknowledging the reality of what happened to me. I faced my fear, knowing that I didn't have to let it happen again because I was in control. I cried out my sadness over the pain and injustice of it all. I knew that I was not helpless any longer because help had arrived in the form of professionals that counseled and encouraged me. I admitted my guilt over being unable to protect my children from the abuse that they suffered alongside me. I discussed my anger at God for allowing my children and I to endure the pain of the abuse, and those closest to me for being unaware of the situation and doing nothing to help. I admitted the shame that I felt for allowing the abuse to continue for so long without seeking professional help. And when I had worked through all of those emotions, I finally felt the relief that the worst was over and the experience I hoped for a normal life in the future. Through the process of thinking again for myself, I learned that my life had meaning and value and that the best was yet to come. I had finally lost my victim mentality that held me captive in my own life. I know what it feels like. I was there. Don't allow yourself to be trapped in it. Don't allow yourself to stay there. Reach out for help. Reach out for those around you. You are not alone.